Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. The most indescribable in this world is the variety that we see and the apparent reality that we feel about this world. Jagataha satyatvam na sulabena bhaditum shakyate. The world's reality is not easily to be falsified because it appears to be so appealing to the senses and the mind. We can easily say my dream is false from the standpoint of Jagrata Avastha, waking state. When we wake up in the morning, whatever be the experience that we have had in the dream, we know whether pleasant or unpleasant, it is not true. Because in the waking world, we do not see any reality of the dream. In the dream state, we do not have the sense of unreality of the waking world. In the dream, we don't falsify the waking state. In the dream, we do not say what I experienced in the waking state is false from this standpoint. Nor do we do in that sleep. So, waking world is not denied in the dream or sleep, whereas the dream world is denied in the waking. Being so, we give greater reality to the waking world, and the waking world is never denied any time. We may go to the state of dream without denying the waking world. We only withdraw. So when do we actually know the unreality of the waking state? Jnanena. So Viveka Buddhi is available only in the waking state. In the dream state, we do not have any ability to discriminate good and bad, right and wrong, much less in the sleep state. And that is because among the three gunas, Sattva guna is Viveka Rupaha. Tamo guna is Alasya, Alsi. And Rajo guna Karma Pravritti. We saw that yesterday also. So in the Sattva, when it is predominant, when we say Sattva is predominant, not that we became good people. Sattva is predominant because Manaha, Buddhihi, these two are available for us to understand, discriminate in the waking state. So in the waking state, we are able to understand the false nature of the dream. But in the dream state, since Sattva is not predominant, we are not able to falsify the waking state. So from this state of waking alone, we can move to the next stage of recognizing the false nature of the waking state. And for that, one needs the Prabhu Kripaya Jnanena Sharanam Gatva Sarvesham. Sarvesham Sharanam Gatva Jnanena Prabhu Kripaya, by the Lord's grace, by knowledge, by surrender to the Lord. Swayam Tirtva Sajjanaha Sarvan Janan Tarayati. A person who has gained this three not only crosses oneself, meaning not only crosses the mighty ocean of Maya Krita Samsara. Now one would wonder, Swamiji, where exactly is this ocean? Kahan hai ye? But can we see it? See, this ocean, when we are talking about samsara, it is not a physical ocean. It is the vast collection of vasanas. That is what is called this Maya samsara. Because we do not know how much we have collected over so many lives. What is the beginning? What is the end? Nobody knows. What is the depth also, we don't know. How deep it is. Every vasana seems to be so strong and so deep. Jnate vastunyabi balavadi vasana anadiresha karta bhokta ahamiti drida ya asya samsara hetuhu pratyadrishtya nivasadi sada sa apaneya prayatnat muktim prahut tadihamanuyo vasana tanavam yat. Vasana is the bandha hetuhu. A samsara hetuhu vasana. So this vasana that are there, the deep impressions collected plenty through many, many lives, this is what is called samsara sagara. It is not something outside you. You cannot say, the world is a samsara. World is not a samsara. So, this samsara sagaram swayam tarayati, swayam tirtva anyan tarayati, janaha sajjanaha tarayanti. So only men of wisdom who have gained Prabhu Kripa, Jnanam and Ishwara Prapatti, surrender to the Lord, compassion of the Lord and grace of the Lord, as well as through knowledge. Now, if I have knowledge, why do I need other two? You see, jnanam can make you see it, what it is, but it does not give you the strength. The strength is required for you to overcome, and that strength comes from something you hold on to. And that which you hold on is the Bhagavan's feet, with the faith in Guru's words, which we have seen in the previous section also. Because a person of knowledge not necessarily mean that a person of strength. There are enough people who have read well, understood, but cannot do anything because they are, as it is said, Jnate vastunyapi, even when one knows, Bhalavati vasana anadi, drida, it is strong. Men of wisdom also fall prey. They are not necessarily be strong. Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha namedeya na bahuna shrutena. Not by merely listening, not by remembering the verses. Balahinena labhyaha. One who does not have strength cannot cross. What is the strength that is required? We always gain strength by holding on to something stronger than us. And that is Bhagavan's feet. That is why it is said, Prabhu Kripaya Sharanam Gatva Sarvesham Tameva Sharanam Gacha Sarva Bhavena Bharata Iti Bhagavata Kaditameva. Now, having said this, the Shishya has a question. What is the question Shishya had? Let's see in the next verse. Jagataha prayojanam. What is the use of the word if that I have to anyway give it up? So here, Shishya uvacha prayojanam swarupam kim jagadascha jagadguru idam rupena yajnatam taccha sarvam jagat bhavet prayojanam swarupam kim jagadascha jagadguru idam rupena yajnatam taccha sarvam jagat bhavet. The second line is Guru Vacha. Shishya is asking this question. Jagataha prayojanam swarupam kim. Hey Jagadguru. Oh, teacher of the world. What is the utility of the world then? Kim prayojanam jagataha. If it is to be falsified, if it is to be given up, it is something to be disregarded. What is the use of the world then? See, prayojanam, prayujyade idi prayojanam. Prayujyade anena idi prayojanam. What you use it for? Whenever anybody says something, you look at the prayojanam of that. Also, one of the things that are required even in the study. So it is said that a study of any text must explain 4 things in the beginning: Adhikari, Vishaya, Sambandha, and Prayojanam. Without that, no student will finally find the completeness of this knowledge. Even when you are either giving a lecture or writing a book or writing any article, even a blog we write. you must think about it. Who is there? For whom are you writing? You must be clear about this. Adhikari. What is the subject matter? What is the connection between the subject matter and the one who reads? And what is the connection between the very subject matter and the result that the person needs to accomplish? Sambandha. So it is said, Sarvasya hi shastrasya karmano vapi kasyachit yavat prayojanam noktam tavat kena pragrihyate. Sarvasya eva hi shastrasya. In all the various shastras, karmano vapi, even the actions or rituals that are prescribed, kasyachit, for anyone, yavat prayojanam noktam. If the prayojana or the final usage of it is not spoken, tavat kena pragrihyate. Who will then pick it up to do? If you are asking the Prohit, or the Prohit tells you this particular ritual to be done with all the ingredients and mantra japa and all, well, as for what? Time pass. You have to tell very clearly, this is the prayojanam. Siddhartham siddha sambandham shrotum shrota pravartade grantado tena vaktavya sambandhassa prayojanam. Siddhartham siddha sankalpa sambandham, sorry. Siddhartham siddha sambandham. What is to be accomplished and what is the connection between the one who is performing and the result? Shrotum shrota pravartade. To understand or to hear, a shrota, a seeker or a listener proceeds. Grantha ado tena vaktavya. By him, by the one who is embarking on to explain this, in the beginning itself, one should say that. Grantha ado tena vaktavya. What? Sambandha saprayojanam. The connection or relationship along with the use of it. Phalam. So, prayojana in this world has to be explained in any context. It has to be mentioned. So definitely Sishya would say, if jnanam is withdrawal, even Bhagavan Krishna was asked this question by Arjuna. In the 3rd chapter itself, he asked, because in the end of 2nd chapter, Bhagavan Krishna explained about Sadaprajna Lakshanani. All right. So having listened to that exalted 18 verses, then first thing the Arjuna asked was, why are you then putting me into this Ghora karma, for war? But then what is if I have to finally withdraw from this war to take up to the path of liberation, then why am I to enter into this war, which is only for killing? So Bhagavan very smilingly said that prayojanam of this world is to purify the mind. Now, first of all, what is this world? What the world is, that's why I say, prayojanam swarupam kim jagadascha jagadguru. The answer that is given by the Guru is, idam rupena yajnatam taccha sarvam jagat bhavet. Idam rupam yajnatam. Whatever is known goes by idam, this. Tat sarvam jagat. Anything that you mention, it has this. This includes that also. Anything that is referred to by you as this or that. So it's this hall or this chair, this table, this book, this body. Who is saying this? Idam iti kaha vatati. Who is saying idam? one who is not idam. What is not idam? Aham. I am the one who mentions everything as this. Can I mention myself as this? This Swami or this so-and-so. Some people say that this Swami is bad. But it is not all the time, but just for on a context you would say. But we all the time feel ourselves as aham only, not as this. You may even say this mind or this buddhi of mine is very crooked, or this thought is very disturbing. Even the vritti, manovritti also is referred as idam. But this ahankar never allows itself to be referred as idam. It feels insulted. Don't you think? If you're walking into your room and somebody says, oh, this has come. What? What? This has come? What, am I a rat or what? You don't want to be referred as this. So I always refer myself as what? Aham. So aham iti atma tad vidiriktam sarvam idam. Other than the self, everything is idam only. So idam rupena yajnatam. In Dridrishya, beautifully put, Astibhati priyam rupam nama chetam shapanchakam aditrayam brahma rupam jagat rupam tatodvayam. Astibhati priyam aham asmi sada bhami sada sukarubena bhami. Meaning, I exist, I know I exist, I know I exist in joy, anand. Other than these three, asti, bhadi, priyam, existence, consciousness, bliss, then other two are there, nama and rupa. In these five aspects of anything, five aspects of the world, or five aspects of anything, asti, bhadi, priyam is Brahman in everything. And nama, rupa becomes the world. You see, this, I keep this very handy with me. Pot. This pot, astiva, nastiva, asti. It is there or not? It is. The isness of this pot is Brahman. Now, do I know this? Yes. Does it know me? No. Thank God. Okay. I know. So it is an object of my awareness. And why am I having it? Because it gives me joy. Whenever I want to show with Vedanta class, I will take it out. So it is adding to my convenience. In anything, as a human being or any living being, every living being exists and every living being is self-aware. And every living being, not only self-aware, they exist for happiness. No living being exists for unhappiness or does anything to become unhappy. Therefore, all beings which are aware of itself, oneself, is Brahman only. But anything else other than that, which can be known by the senses, which is only form, and because we know by the form, we give a name also. So, nama rupatmakam jagat. So, what is jagat? Nama rupatmakam idam iti yatya jayate tat sarvam jagat eva. That is the rupa of the world. So, kim swarupam jakataha? That is answered. Jagataha rupam nama rupatmakam yat sarvam idam iti jayate. That which is of having the name and form, which is referred always as this. In fact, this physical body, we are, Bhagavan Krishna says, idam shariram kaunteya. He says this sharir also is idam only. And one who knows this idam is kshetrajna aham. Sarva kshetreshu aham sarvajna. Sorry, kshetrajna. So the answer is given to Shishya about what is the swarupam of this world. What is the rupam of the world? Idam. This. In our transactional world also, that which is having no chetana, no real living presence, we refer it as idam. This. In fact, the trees and plants also should not be referred as this because they are alive, but unfortunately we say this tree, this dog. The dog is not very happy about that because I am aware, I am alive. Whatever you're referring to me as this. Some people, when they have these so much fond of their dog or anything, you try to call it this dog. No, don't call me dog. This is Johnny. Okay, sorry. The part of my family member, they're calling us this. One person was walking with the dog. So another person on the road who came across, his friend only, yes, nowadays you are walking with donkeys. Don't you see it's a dog? The other person said, I'm talking to the dog only. Those who understand. What do we do? So, people don't like if your dog is referred as this. Oh, my dear family member. You cannot call him as this dog. They don't have that much of affinity with God also. Okay, then what is the prayojanam of the Jagat? That you didn't answer. So here, the teacher proceeds. Karma kartum phalam bhoktum kshetra bhutam hi praninam Ishe samarpya karmani chitta shuddhim labin naraha karma kartum phalam bhoktum kshetra bhutam hi praninam Ishe samarpya karmani chitta shuddhim labin naraha Prayojanam jagataha chitta shuddhihi. Karma bhumau chitta shuddhihi prapyate. In the world, when performance of action done with the surrender to the Lord, the world becomes a field for purity of mind. Because mostly people think that the world is only a field in which we work and gain the result. Karma kartum phalam bhoktum. Praninam kshetra bhutam. Vishwam jagat. This world is meant for engaging in action and reaping the results. That's what most people think. But only when you realize that there is limitation in the action as well as the result. Karturajnaya prapyate phalam karma kimparam karma tajjadam kriti mahadadau patana karanam phalama shashvatam gati nirodhakam. one thinks that my karma action by itself is giving result, then you are making a big mistake. Karma does not decide the result. Only karta decides the result. Karta here, Ishwara. Kartuhu agyaya phalam prapyade, na karmana eva. By action alone, you will not get result. Action plus Ishwara anugraham. Now, in this context, one may think that, Swamiji, why should we do action and then Bhagavan gives result? Without we doing the action, why not Bhagavan give the result? Why? As I said before, this Jagat is created by the Lord only for us to experience the result of our own actions. If one is not interested in the result, the world is not necessarily for him. That is going to be said later on. So the transition of a sadhaka takes place. In the beginning, he says, I do, and whatever I do, I get the result accordingly. There is a direct relationship between karma and karma phalam. This is avidya. This is not correct knowledge. Bhagavan Krishna clarifies in Gita, adhishtanam, karta, karanam, karma, and daivam. These are all the 5 factors that decide the result. Adhishtanam, deha, body with which we do. Karanam, the senses, karmendriyani, with which we do, or any other equipment or things which we use for the sake of accomplishing any work. Karta, the doer, one who has the intention to engage in action. Then karma, the action itself. These 4 are visible ones. And we think these 4 visible aspects of karma decide the result. No, daivam. This daivam factor, we don't know what that really means because it is not visible. There are 2 interpretations for this daivam. One is, daivam means the presiding deity who decides how the result of action should happen. For example, I have my eyes. And there is an object right in front of me. When I open the eyes, do I see that object? Yes. When? When there is sunlight or any light falls on the object, correct? Eyes cannot see an object unless there is an external factor called the light presented on that object or thrown onto the object, correct? Now, that is the reason why presiding deity for the eye is sun. Similarly, my tongue is there. Can I put any object and taste it? Yes, only when Varuna is present. Varuna Bhagavan is the god of waters. Not only my tongue must have the water element, the object should also have water element. Then only I can taste it. So also, presiding deities are necessary for the transaction to be complete. So that is Daivam, one aspect of it. Second meaning of Daivam is Purvakritam Karma. Karma Phalam in the form of destiny that is there is also Daivam. In many places, Daivam is explained as Purva Karma Kritam Phalam. That is Daivam. So when I do an action and I think my action should give result, not only the action that you do is important, But what you did in the past and whether you are eligible for the result or not, decided by the past action, is also necessary. Let me give you an example. Let us say I shouted at somebody at some point of time. For whatever reason, that person has done something wrong and I shouted at that person. He felt very insulted, whatever. I have not met that person for many days or many years maybe. After some time, when I happen to see him and smile at him, at this moment, just give me a simple example. At this moment, my smile at that person should result in what? That person smiling back to me. It will not happen. Why? Purvakritam karma. That person remembers how I insulted him. Even if I have forgotten, so that person's reaction would not be the same, which will happen perhaps when I smile at somebody, everybody would smile, but not that person. Why? Now you understand. Now, how many of our actions that we did in the past, which we do not know, has an impact on what we are doing right now, which we can never see? So everybody who does the action will not get the same result. If action alone decides the result, then all people doing the same action should get the same result. That doesn't happen. That is Deva. So the misunderstanding that according to the karma, the result should come, it will not. And that is when people get frustrated. Why is it not coming? Why is that I'm not getting what I... Sarva praninam kshetra bhutam. Here, the kshetra, here not only the world. The world includes, as I said, it starts from here. Anything that you say, idam is kshetram. Mahabhutanyahangkaraha buddhiravyaktamevacha indriyani dashekam cha panchachendriya gocharaha ichchadvesha sukham dukkam sangadhaschetana dhritihi eda kshetram samasena savikarena udahritam. Bhagavan Krishna clear. It is kshetram. What? Mahabhutani, Panchabhutani, Ahankaraha, Buddhihi, Avyaktam, Indriyani, Dasha Ekamcha, 11. Dasha, then Panchacha Indriya Gocharaha, 5 sense organs and their field of sense objects. 11 organs of action and jnanam, plus mind. Ichcha, deshas, dvesha, sukham, dukkam, sangada, chetana, dhritihi. For example, likes, dislikes. All these are all to be included. Eda kshetram. Kshetram is not something externally. See, therefore, even this mind, intellect, ahankar, chitta, 5 sense organs of perception, 5 sense organs action, mind, word, and all the objects in the world, including the Pancha Mahabhutas. And then Avyakta Maya, everything is referred as Kshetram. So, this kshetram is meant for not only reaping the results of your action, that is what the common man does, but a person who is seeking liberation, what he should do? Ishe samarpya karmani. When he knows he is limited, when he knows that he cannot decide the result, and the ultimate result one wants is the moksha, the freedom, and knowing that the world and as well as all these faculties which are referred as kshetram to be surrendered at the feet of the Lord. Ishe samarpya karmani chitta shuddhim lavinnara. That is the prayojanam. So jagataha prayojanam kim? Jagat is meant for chitta shuddhi. So do not discard that. Do not discard the word, because without purifying the mind, if somebody rejects the action, Krishna wants that, you will be really in trouble. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogadaha. Without the karma yoga, without the chitta shuddhi, if someone takes the renunciation, it will cause only great pain. It is difficult also. Dukkame dukkena aptam ayogataha. Or ayogataha means one who has not done the chitta shuddhi through karma yoga or bhakti, one will be only suffering in the state of renunciation. So, surrendering to the Lord and doing the action is the way to purify the mind, and Jagat helps you in that. World is a platform or the field for purifying the mind. All right. Now, is it not that a person who has gained this purity of mind and again gained the knowledge, everything, does he not live in this world and do the things for him who has already gained the chitta shuddhi? What is the prayojanam for such a person, the world? What is the prayojanam of the world for him? For a sadhaka, the world is a field for purifying the mind. For a ajnani, the world is meant for getting the result out of his action. For a jnani, what is the use of this world? That is said in the next verse we see here. Brahma rupam jagat pashyan mukto vidwan bhaven naraha jivartam syat prayojanam ishartam nadu karhichit. Brahma rupam jagat pashyan mukto vidwan bhaven naraha jivartam syat prayojanam ishartam nadu karhichit. Jivartam jagat prayojanam syat. For a jiva alone, for an individual who is still considering himself as a jiva, for him alone, jagat is prayojanam chitta shuddhaye. See, many of them would not even know that there is a need for purifying the mind. When you to a common man, you go and tell you have to purify the mind. What do you mean by that? Why should I purify the mind? So a baddha purusha, a person who is bound, would not even recognize the need for purifying the mind. That's why our Guruji in another composition has said, Dehatma bhavo vishayeshu ragaha kartrutva bhavascha tadeva karmasu satyadya buddhihi jagadiha yasya sayeva baddhaha purushascha dukhi. Yasya dehatma bhavaha, one who has deha atma iti bhava. Dehatma bhava, once you have I am the body idea, notion, which we always have, then what is the next one that takes place because of that? Vishayeshu ragaha, attraction towards objects. Once you get the attraction towards objects, then what do you do? Karma. To gain the object, you have to engage in karma. Kartrutva bhavascha tadeva karmasu. Karmasu kartrutva bhava. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Where do you do the action? Satyatva buddhihi jagadiha yasya. Then the world is real, in which I have to do the action. Through the action, I get the proper, whatever I want as a Vishayas. And with the Vishayas, I will enjoy this with this body. So body notion leading to Vishayeshuragaha, then Kartrutva Bhavaha, and Satyatva Buddhihi Jagati. Sayeva Baddha. That is a fellow who's called bond, Jiva. Then Sarvada Dukhi. Always in trouble. So where is the problem started? Dehe Atma Buddhi. So Jiva Lakshana is that. So a person who has this wrong notion as I am the born entity and I am the body only, which is born, then to such a person, this Jagat is a very important means to purify that. That's why Prayojanam Sya Jivartam. What is the use of this world for Ishwara? Ishartam natu karhichit. Not for the Lord. Bhagavan ke liye jagat jarurat nahi. As we have seen, Bhagavan out of his compassion created the world for the jivas to reap their results of action, also grow and evolve. You know, let us say a person has fallen into a well by mistake. And somebody who's passing by who found that this has happened, so he throws a rope for him to pick up and come. So that person picks up the rope and pulls that fellow also down. Now tell me, what a tragedy. No, it may be laughable to you. The point is, Bhagavan ke liye jagat ka jarurat nahi hai. But what we do, we bring Bhagavan also into the world. Usko bhi शादी करना है. अरे बाबा, क्यों करते हो भाई? तो रहने दो ना. No, they won't leave him. वो भी संसारी बन जाएगा. They will bribe him also. Put the money in the hundi. Said, better take care of this problem of mine. I will give you the money also. Maybe he's a partner in my crime. Anyway, so Ishartam natu karhichit. Now, it can be interpreted two ways. Jagat Ishartam na prayojanam. Meaning what? Ishwara prapti ke liye jagat ka prayojan nahi hai. That's what one meaning we can take. Ishartam, Ishwara praptyartam. So the world, through the world, how will you gain Ishwara? Bhagavan. It is like, so long as you're seeing the snake, you will never be able to see the rope. Can you? Swamiji, half snake, half rope. This is I'm capable of seeing. That's why Bhagavan said very clearly, Maya tadamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu avastitaha nachamastani bhutani. I pervade everything. Everything is in me. I am not in them. They are not in me. अरे पहले बताए आप सब है. So he said, Maya tadamitam sarvam jagat avyaktamutna matstani sarvabhutani. All beings are in me. I am not in them. Then he whatever say, they are not in me. The second statement and the fourth statements are contradictory. It's not contradictory. It's a progress. The rope says, if you are seeing the snake, you are seeing on me only. Right? Snake is not some 10 feet away from me. Snake that you are seeing is projected upon me. Therefore, where are you seeing the snake? In me. All right. Upon inquiry and you realize that the snake is a false appearance, do you still see the snake in me? No. That's what I mean. Similarly, when a person starts to see that Jagat nahi hai, Brahma Rupa hai. Brahma hi, that's what in the first room. Brahma Rupam Jagat Pashyan. Why it is that the Ishwarasya na prayojanam. Ishartam na prayojanam. Why it is so? Upon seeing the rope as a rope, there is no confusion that still a part of the rope is snake. In the same way, a person who is able to see this entire creation as none other than the Brahmaswarup, Brahmarupam Jagat Pashyan, Muktaha Vidwan Bhavet. Muktaha Vidwan Muktaha Bhavet. Only upon seeing this world also as Brahman only. Atma Rupam Swayam Nyatva Brahma Rupam Jagat Pashyet. Atma Rupam Swayam. When one comes to see oneself as Atman, then Jagat Rupam Brahma. If Atma, so one's own self Jiva iti Pashyet, then Jagat Rupena iti Pashyet. Then the world is seen as only Jagat of variety, Nama Rupa. So, Ishwarayana Prayojanam Jagat. For Ishwara, the world is not necessary. For Isha Praptyartamabi Jagat is not Prayojana. So, only the step one for Chitta Shuddhyartam Jagat. Upon mind become pure, ability to falsify the world takes place through Jnanam. And upon falsification of the world, still the Jivan Mukta lives in the world, perceiving the world as Brahma Rupam. The world is pure presence of Brahman in all forms. Vasudeva Sarvamidhi Samaha Masudurlama. Sarvam Vasudeva. Everything is none other than the Lord Himself. Such a person, even as he lives in this world like anybody else, a Jivan Mukta Purusha, he is unaffected by the modification and changes that takes place in the Nama and Rupa of the world, while he is aware of the constant presence without any change. This transformation, this attention that is very subtly taking place, that is the beauty of Jnana Abhyas, practice of knowledge. Practice of knowledge is not a particular karma. It is awareness expanding in its scope. The awareness expanding its scope. That is what is called the abhyasa of knowledge. The practice. So here, Bhagavan, the teacher has very clearly answered the question of the student who asked, what is the Swarupa of the Jagat? what is the prayojanam of the Jagat, and what happens for a Jiva and what happens for a Jivan Mukti, Jivan Mukta Purusha. Now the next one is, the topic is Mukti Prakaraha. Prakaraha. What are the types of Mukti? Oh, in Mukti also there are types? Yes. So that is said here. Shrunu Mukti Prakaram Tvam Yata Proktam Vichintakaihi Karmopasana Praptavyah Swargo Lokascha Brahmanah Shrunu Mukti Prakaram Tvam Yata Proktam Vichintakaihi Karmopasana Praptavyah Swargo Lokascha Brahmanah. Mukti Prakaram Yata Vichintakaihi Proktam Shrunu Tvam. Vichintakaihi Proktam. Vichintakaha meaning Vicharam Kurvantaha. Those who have been doing the contemplation, those people have come to comprehend the nature of this liberation at different varieties. Mukti Prakaram, Shrunu, listen. No, I did not know so many different types are there. Sir, there's only one. One person came to me a long time back, and then he said, Swamiji, I listened to you. All that I now need is only moksha, nothing else. Oh, very good. You want moksha, that is good. Aap de do na. I said, this is not something which I keep it in my pocket and give it to you. Now, I asked him, Pehle ye batao, please tell me, what do you understand as moksha? And you tell me that. He said, I don't want to live in this world. I'm so frustrated, so unhappy about this world. I just want moksha. I said, if you do not want to live in this world, it's very simple. I don't need to tell you what you need to do. No, not that. I just want all my problems to go away. That's what I want. All my problems should end. I said, do you think the problem is inside you or outside you? So Guruji used to say, there are people who have problems and there are people who are the problems. There are two types of people. Now tell me, do you have problem or you think you are the problem? Swamiji, I have the problem. Okay. Where and all you have the problem? Everywhere, Swamiji. Wherever I go, I have a problem. And then I said, then the first one is correct. See, if you have problem here and there, you can say that is a problem. Wherever you go, the problem is, who is the common factor here? If I wear a red glass and look everything red, problem is where? He didn't accept that thing. You mean to say, I am the problem? I'm not saying, you are saying it. You said, wherever I go, there is a problem. Means what? What do you think about it? After that, he stopped coming. Stopped even asking the question also, even if he met me. Because if he asks the same question, I'll have the same answer. Find out where the problem is and then we'll find out where the solution is. So what are the various different types of moksha or mukti here? Yata proktam vichintakaihi. Now, first one is karma upasana praptavyah swargah lokascha. Karmana swargalokah upasanaya brahmalokah. So karma here means Veda Vihita karma. Kartavya karma. When actions that are prescribed by the Vedas, as prescribed by them, the rituals, when performed, the end result is Punya Prapti and Punya Praptya Swarga Prapti. By obtaining the meritorious deed, by performing the meritorious deeds, merits are accrued. Traividya mam somapa suputa papaha Yajñe rishtva swargadim prartayante. Te punyalogam, that punyalogam asadhya, having reached there, enjoying the various pleasures that are there in Swargaloka. So Swargaloka is an abode of all joy. An interesting thing is, or very disappointing thing is, you will not have the body to enjoy this. Whoa, what do you mean by that? Yeah, no body. You will not be allowed to go with the body there. So then how will I enjoy without the body? What do you mean by that? Only in the mind. That is why there is no limit. How many ever rasagullas you want, you can eat. There will not be any diabetes there. Or you will not put on weight. Okay. How much ever you want to drink, you can drink. There is no liver to drink up. Liver is also not there. So you can go on enjoying. Only problem is, as and when you enjoy the pleasures of the heaven, to that extent the punya will get reduced. Somebody keep count of that? Yes. Kshine punye. And when the punya is become kshina, martya loka, again manushya loka. Again you have to do the work. So this is karma phalam. What is that? Swarga. So that is one form of mukti. Mukti here means where you do not anymore live as a human being or any other living being, a part of the world. You will go to the world of pleasure. But the only thing is, there is no assurance that you will not come back. So it's a limited period. You will get only a visa, not even green card. 5-year expiration is there. Swarge lokena bhayam kinchana asti. There, Nachiketa says to Yama also, nobody fears you, oh Yama, in the world of heaven. Na bhayam kinch, na tatratvam, because you are not there. Na jaraya bibedi. There is no old age also. Ube tirtva asana pipase, having crossed over the pangs of hunger and thirst, shoka adigo modade surgaloke. Crossing the boundaries of sorrow, people enjoy in the Swargaloka. That is out of karma, out of rituals. The upasana, a particular devata upasana, when it is done, the end result of that is Brahmaloka Praptihi, the abode of Brahma. Oh, so that is second kind of a mukti. And Brahmaloka Prapti, there again you will have to attend Vedanta class conducted by Mr. Brahma. There, if you are eligible there, then you will go to the final liberation. This is called Krama Mukti, gradual liberation. There, see, mukti ke liye jnana avashya hai. You cannot avoid that. And if you do not get it there, you will have to get it in Brahmaloka. There also Vedanta class will be held. Only thing is, one major problem there is, you know what? Everybody should know Sanskrit. At least here you get it in English. There you won't get that also. So you have to start from Rama, 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 start all over again. Better do it here. No? So that Brahmaloka Prapti, that is also considered as a Mukti. There is nothing called total. Brahma Bhavana Lokan Punaravartino Arjuna. Until the Brahma Loka, everything is Punaravarti. Again, returning only. Temporary Mukti you get. In Brahma Loka, there you may gain the knowledge, but there also, after gaining the knowledge, sadhana hona hi chahiye. Then only you will get Mukti. But this upasana of different kinds. And different kinds of upasanas give different kinds of Mukti also. Oh, is it so? Yes, that is said in the next verse. See here. Prasada Sweshta Devasya Salokyam cha samipata Sarupyam sashti sayujye Muktim prahurmanishinaha Prasadat sveshta devasya Salokyam sa samipata Sarupyam sashti sayujye Muktim prahurmanishinaha. Swaishta devasya prasadat. When you have a favorite deity, and the very upasana when you do of that particular deity, tasya prasadat, by the grace of that particular deity, there can be 4 different kinds of mukti possible. Salokyam, Samipyam, Sarupyam, Sayujyam. So it's called Salokya Mukti, Samipya Mukti, Sarupya Mukti, and Sayujya Mukti. So what is this? See, Salokya means you will go to the same abode where your favorite deity is present. Vishnu Loka, Shiva Loka, etc. So that very abode in which that particular deity is presiding. Then comes another form of intense devotional practice will lead you to Samipya, a close proximity of that Lord. So that proximity is where you start to serve the Lord in person. In person? By yourself. Salokya means where you will be there in the abode of the Lord. May not reach the very place where you can serve him. Then the third one is Sarupya. You obtain the form of the Lord itself, meaning you will obtain the oneness in not oneness. You will be having similar qualities of the Lord. Sarupya. Then comes Sayujya. You merge with that and along with his powers. Sashti Sayujye. Here, Sayujya is usually is what is said, but here Guruji added Sarshti. Sarshti means where Sarshti. Rushti means power, the strength, the virility, the authority. Sarshti. And then Sayujya is complete merger. These are all the 4 or 5 types of mukti spoken. There is a beautiful verse in Shivananda Lahari. It's beautifully written there. Sarupyam tava pujane Shiva Mahadevedi Sankirtane Samipyam Shiva Bhakti Durya Janata Sangatya Sambhashane. Then Salukyam Characharatmakadhanudhyane Bhavani Pate Sayujyam Mama Siddhamatra Bhavati Swamin Kritarthosmyaham. Sarupyam Tava Pujane. Tava Pujane Sarupyam. When I am worshipping you, I almost gain your form. See, if a person is Shiva Puja is doing, Shiva Bhutva Shivam Yajeta. When you are worshipping Bhagavan Shiva, you should wear the marks of Shiva. So you also put the Vibhuti on your forehead. You don't put snake and all on your body, but that's not necessary. So, but you see, if you're doing Sri Rama or Vishnu, then you put Nama. You don't put them that and then do the Vishnu Puja. People wonder, what are you trying to do? So you appear, that is why we say that a person who is worshipping Bhagavan Shiva should wear the mark or symbols, Drudraksha. Then you have put the ashes on your head. And all that physically they do, so they would appear like Shiva to worship Shiva. Sarupyam tava pujane. So when do I come to closer to you? Shiva Mahadevedi Sankirtane Samipyam. When I start to sing the name of the Lord in my heart, I have come closer to you, singing your glory. Shiva Mahadevedi Sankirtane Samipyam. Then when is that I am in the abode of the Lord? Shiva Bhakti Durya Janada Sangatya Sambhashane Salokyam. I am in the abode of the Lord when I am in the company of those people who are also devotees of the Lord. Shiva Loka means Shiva Bhaktanam Lokaha. Where the abode of the place where all the bhaktas of Shiva are there, that is Shiva Loka, really speaking. So, Shiva Bhakti Durya Janada Sangatya Sambhashane Salokyam. Then, when do I actually merge with you? Chara Acharatmakam Tanu Dhyane Bhavani Pade. When I come to have the vision that you are present in all the moving and unmoving, in all of them. Chara charatmaka tanu dhyane bhavani pate sayujyam atra siddham. Then I obtain the oneness with you when I come to know that you are present in all things, inert or sentient. In that meditation upon you, I am you. Swamin krita taha asmi aham. I am so blessed. So this way, there are 4 or 5 types of Bhakti. Mukti is also given and given out by the men of knowledge. Muktim prahuhu manishinaha. This kind of Mukti is also spoken by manishinaha. Manishina means manishin. Isha means, Ishin here means manasaha Isha manisha. Conviction. Manasaha Isha, mental conviction. Those who have called, the one who has Manasaha Isha, yasya asti saha manishin. Manishinaha. So those who have such a firm conviction on the Upasana Marga, they have said these kinds of Mukti are possible also. So there is Swarga Prapti is there, Brahma Loka Prapti is there, or Ishta Devada Loka Prapti is also there. These are the different kinds of Mukti that are there. But Jnanena tu, that is a different caliber altogether. What is that? So that is said in the next verse, verse number 3 here. page 110. Hitva swajiva bhavam ya brahmatmana hi samstitihi जीवन मुक्तिर्विदेहा च सर्वं वेदांत निश्चयः सर्व वेदांत हित्वा स्वजीव भावं या ब्रह्मात्मना हि संस्थितिः जीवन मुक्तिर्विदेहा च सर्व वेदांत निश्चयः या स्वजीव भावं हित्वा ब्रह्मणा संस्थितिः या संस्थितिः that state where jiva bhavam hitva swajiva bhavam the notion of I am a mortal entity aham ahankarah aham dehah aham pranah aham manah aham buddhihi ityadi jiva bhava tyagena hitva ya ब्रह्मात्मना ब्रह्म एव आत्मा आत्मा एव ब्रह्म इति संस्थिताः सम्यक् स्थिताः निष्ठाः संस्थितिः that is जीवन मुक्तिः. So the state of liberation while living is when an individual relinquishes the notion of oneself as a limited entity and seeing the oneness between Brahman and Atman. That is what is called the Jivan Mukti. This Mukti is apunaravritti rupaha. There is no further coming back. Until then, all of them, whatever is said, punaprokta sarvam punaravritti rupaha. All that is said earlier are all of the nature of limitation and subject to punaha avritti. Return back. Path of return. Whereas this Vedante yat kaditam muktihi apunaravritti rupakaha. Vedante yat kaditam muktihi. That which is spoken in the Vedanta is apunaravritti. Why it is so? See, in all other mukti, there is no destruction of ahankar. It's only certain amount of reduction. So anybody who seeks anything other than the self is to some extent having a desire to experience something other than the self. So anything other than the self is expected as a field of experience. Such an individual has to come back. Where the destruction of the ego has taken place, then the mukti is here and now, not to go anywhere else. And it is said in Gatopanishads also, that which is here is what is there. What is there is what is here. Yadi eva iha tadamutra. Whatever is here is what is there. What is there means what? Beyond the death. The question raised by Nachiketa was there, that one. What is that which is beyond the time of present, past and future, beyond dharma and adharma, beyond punya and papa? What is it? And for that, the answer is given by the Yama there. Understand that which is here is what is there, because that is not conditioned by dharma, adharmadi, punya and papa, etc. It is not governed by that at all. Therefore, Jivan Mukti is Hyaiva. That's why Upanishad also very clear. That is, if you have not gained that here, then it is a great, 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 great tragedy only. one has to obtain during the lifetime of one's being as a human, strive to obtain this as much as possible in this life itself. If one does not, for whatever reason, at least the last moment of one's life, one should conquer the ego and surrender to the Lord. That is called Videha Mukti. So that's why he said, Jivan Mukti Videha Cha. Jivan Muktihi or Videha Muktihi Cha Sarva Vedanta Nischaya. It is Deha Padanadurdvam Yat Muktihi Ya Muktihi. That Mukti is called Videha Mukti. Whereas one who obtains it while living itself, then it's called Jivanapi Muktaha. Jivan Muktaha. Even though he's living, from other standpoint, he's still living in the body. But as far as he is concerned, it's over. Done. And such a person is ready to live anytime. Because once a person has understood that I am already free, why am I still here? Because Prarabdha is still holding me back and therefore I'm here. I have nothing to do with this. Naiva kinchit karomi. One lives that in that very state of mind where indriyani indriyarteshu vartante na eva kinchit karomi aham. Sense organs are dealing with sense objects. Let them do. I have nothing to do with this. I'm just watching it. So long as I'm alive, because of Prarabdha, I will keep myself aware and alert about what is going on. That is the nature of a Jivan Mukta. So when our Swami Tapovanam was in the state, almost leaving his body, and he was pretty sick because body has to have a reason to get out, to discard itself. So when Gurudev went to him and then said, we will take you to the hospital in Delhi. He was in Uttarakashi. And we'll find some cure for your body. Swami Tapanam only smiled at him and said, why, in Delhi nobody dies? So from the day I was born, there is one person who's waiting for me and I have to go to him. This body is meant for him only. Let it go. This is a time I am going to satisfy what he needed. Yama. And I wouldn't want to disappoint him. Let him take it quickly. That was the state of mind of Tapovanam at the last moment, during the last moments of his life. So, therefore, Jivan Mukta Purusha, they are very ready. Anyway, time is ready. Okay, I am ready to go. Not that they are frustrated with the life, hating the world, nothing. Mera kaam khatam ho gaya. What is there to do? But whereas in our case, Swamiji, so many things to do, still, itna hai karne ke liye kya? I'm not ready to go. As though the whole world is running because of your presence only. This is the way we think. That notion we have to get out. The world is better place if I don't exist. Which when we realize that, it is a very bitter thing to realize that. Without me, what will happen? Everything will be fine. But that maturity has to come. Even if I'm not there, it will go on. So, Jivan Mukti Videha Cha Sarva Vedanta Nischaya. This is the very declaration of all the teachings in Vedanta. And how one comes to that point? Jiva Bhava Tyagena Hitva Swajiva Bhavam Ya Brahmatmana Samstitihi. Because Jiva Bhava, Aham Jivaha, is, as I said before also, it is a swabhava. It has been with us for a long time. To discard that attitude is so hard. We must have an alternative. See, Jnanam gives choice. Ajnanam doesn't give you a choice. When a person learns, he starts looking, he starts realizing there are choices available to me. See, let us say a child who is learning from the school, going all the way up to 12th grade. And after the 12th grade, then he can have a choice. I want to go to this branch or that branch, math or science, and this and that. But if he is not even graduated 12th grade, then what choices he will have? Go to the nearest restaurant and become a waiter. Because when you do not have education, what choice you will have? When you have education, it gives you more choice. Then when you get into a particular field and start working or start learning, then you find more choices available there. Right? So knowledge provides you more and more choices. Whereas Ajnani lives within the very small sphere of choices. And that is the reason why I'm not talking about the worldly knowledge now here. Those people who are ignorant, they behave in the same way all the time. You watch that. A person who is greedy about money is no different from another person who is greedy of power or greedy of anything else. And all the desire prompted people will look similar. Their actions will be similar. Their aspiration will be similar. Why? Because Ajnanam does not give you choices. Whereas a Jnani chooses what he wants because he knows the consequences of what will happen if we don't make that choice. Let us say I am a vegan. Let us say, for example, and I go to a party where you have varieties of food. And there are salads also, there are other things also. Now, there are varieties of things. And a person who is gluttonously eating, he will keep on eating. Whereas you will choose. This I don't want. And that I know what will happen if I eat. Even though he has choices, he can be choosy. You see that? Whereas one who does not care about the physical body's health, what will he do? Whatever comes in the table, he will eat. Similarly, when I become aware of the nature of the self, which is my own, and it is the nature of the self, is the nature, Swarupa of everybody also. How will I deal with others then? Not the way others do. That is why it is said, a person who has this knowledge is a Samadarshi. Isn't it? A person who has knowledge is able to see, in spite of whatever is in front of him, he will see oneness. That choice he would make. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Sunishaiva Swapake Brahmana Sunifaiva Swapake But Pandidaha Samadarshinaha. They are able to see that oneness, whether it is a dog or a dog eater, Brahmana, a cow or an elephant, whatever comes in front of him, he will be able to look at choicefully that this is another expression of Paramatma. And thus, therefore, he will not go by what is perceived. He will go by what is understood and aware of. So therefore, not only he will lose or he will discard Jiva Bhava in him, when he looks at the other people in the world also, he will not treat them as jivas. He will treat them as Brahmaswarup. So that is the reason why Sarvaloka hite charaya, Sarvaloka hite charanti jnaninaha. They will always work for the welfare of everyone because they do not see the people as merely what is presented by the senses. Atma Rupam Swayam Yatva Brahma Rupam Jagat Pashyet. So that is the Jivan Mukti Lakshana there. If in case that person has not obtained the fulfillment in the body while living, he will surely get it after leaving the body. That's a Videha Mukti. So these are all the two aspects of Mukti out of Jnanam. So tomorrow is the last session where we will see what is the state of Jivan Mukti. That will be the final part. That will conclude our discussion on this beautiful subject. And as it has appealed to you in the beginning itself, so you can let me look at this. So please understand all these various activities that is coming from all centers in Vancouver also are because of the contribution from the members, contribution from the participants in yajnas like this. So we request you to offer your Guru Dakshina to the Guru Parampara through the link that is given to you. And that will be of great use for continuing our activities. And Guru Dakshina is a show of gratitude. Gratitude is not a commitment. Gratitude is an act of thanksgiving, so to say. There is no compulsion. It is an act of feeling grateful for the knowledge that is received. And without the Guru Parampara, where is the knowledge would come to us? Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Parampara. So it is not out of sympathy, but out of feeling grateful for the knowledge that we have been given by the great lineage of teachers. So to that lineage of teachers, our show of gratitude is this Guru Dakshina. So please proceed with that link and then offer that. Tomorrow we will conclude this text. All right. Anything else that we need to announce?